I am so fucking pissed right now. I took my son to the dentist appointment that he's been long needing. And the dentist was so amazing, so compassionate. And the nurses were amazing. The only one that had a really ragged ass attitude was the receptionist. But once she seen that I ain't about no bullshit, she really quickly changed her attitude. And so they took x-rays of the upper portion of my son's teeth, which is where he was really badly hurt. And it turns out that he has cracks in the teeth from when he fell. And then he got because he struggles to let his drinks go. So he has a little cavity there. But nothing that would be definitely uncurable, you know. But one thing that absolutely fucking pissed me off over the edge was that, my mom was basically mocking his pain. My mom also talked shit with my sister and her husband because they realize now that I'm not fucking around and that I actually am super fucking furious. And so I told my husband I'm planning to press charges against my sister's husband for standing there and allowing his 7.5-year-old to try to assault. No, actually, I'm sorry, not try. He did assault my 5-year-old son. He was 4 at the time of the assault. And he just stood there like a fucking moronic idiot. And basically just allowed his kid to basically severely injure mine. And one of the things that absolutely fucking drew me to my edge was that he knew that my son had severe anxiety of dogs, but yet he told my sister to give the dog to my nephew, which is what prompted all this insanity. And I've just been so angry. And I felt really devastated because my son was choking on his blood. It took me almost 30 minutes to stop the bleeding. And after I was able to, stop the bleeding, he couldn't eat. He almost couldn't drink. I had to get him those Pediasure drinks to make sure he had something at all in his stomach so that the acid from his stomach didn't mess up his stomach and make it hurt. And to this very day, they have absolutely no remorse. It is disgusting, to say the least. But I went to the dentist today for my son that was injured by my sister's son. And at the end of everything, I told the dentist and his nurse's assistants that I was in fact planning to press charges against him for standing there on the sidewalk watching everything transpire and refusing to do anything when my dad and his wife were already technically inside of their car. There was no fucking feasible reason for him not to have done anything. And so, that's why I'm pressing charges against him. Hi. And so,
let's go get the dinosaurs. Come on.
it's
let's go get the dinosaurs. I said there.
It's just something that really makes you feel uneasy, makes you feel uncomfortable. Why are we having to press charges for something that he simply could have just stepped his fucking game up and, taken care of it. But then, he didn't want to. And so, at the end of everything, I haven't spoken to my mom or my sister or her delusional excuse of husband for months now. It's almost been about 1.5 years that I haven't had any fucking communication with them. The day that I decided to, go surprise my brother, I was led to believe that it was only going to be my brother and the kids and I. And that things were going to be fine, but he bullshit me like he always does. And at the end of everything, and so at the end of everything, my mom mysteriously showed up to this visit to the park when I was never notified that she was going to come in the first fucking place. At one point, there were some kids who were trying to be mean to my oldest son, and one of them pushed him off of the fucking playset, which basically messed him up really, really fucking badly. Due to the injury that, he sustained through my sister's son, and then the one from the park. No, get that.
Let's go, come on.
Grab him. Get the hell off, Maki. And the injury that he got, from the park because my mom was trying to keep me distracted so that I couldn't go help my son out, which that in of itself fucking made me so furious. And then I just really was overcome by this feeling like they're trying to kill my son. It's to a point that he cannot even balance sometimes now, which makes me believe that he could potentially have either some brain swelling or some internal bleeding, which is life-threatening, which is something that we have to confirm that he's not having now, because that could explain very well why he's having this balance problem. But it really pisses me off because she saw to it the day that we were at the park that I was really distracted, that I couldn't fucking even go save my own son. Just for her to run her fucking lip, which I really don't give a fuck what the woman has to say anyway, so I mean, that's just how it is. I haven't given a fuck in a long while. Like I always say, once you push me away or you do something to betray somebody that I care about or I love, I'm done with you. I will remove you so far out that you will feel like the piece of shit that you are. And so I just fucking left it there, and I hadn't seen him, talked to him in months. But the fact that my brother would pull this bullshit, where my mom was there without telling me, as a result of her being there, my son got severely hurt. Potentially now he has some kind of brain swelling or some kind of internal bleeding. You're not obviously going to see bleeding inside of your fucking brain unless it's coming out of your mouth and your fucking nose. And then it's just like really fucking dawned on me. I'm like, she's always had, first of all, my mom told me when she found out that I was pregnant with my oldest son, she told me that she wanted me to get an abortion. She told me that to go as far as to lie to my husband and just say that I was going to go take the kids to one of their medical appointments, and that she even went as far as to say that she would pay for it. I am not a Democrat. I am not an extremist. I am none of that shit. I am very, very pro-life. I support the movement for life of children. I am fighting for children's civil rights, for fucking crying out loud. Come on now. The fuck? And I just really, it just dawned on me. I'm like, why is she trying to kill my son? She has to be mentally ill for something like that to happen. I mean, there's no other fucking explanation. But I'm already planning, sorry honey, I'm already planning to press charges against my sister's husband for standing on the sidewalk when all of this was going on. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm going to call the police department and see if I got to file a report online, or if in fact I go to my buddy who's an attorney and handle things that way. Honestly, the very last time I ever had to press charges against somebody was when I was in grade school, because they tried being crazy in the middle of class, and I just had to, take care of myself or whatever, And so, at this point, I'm planning to press charges, make sure he gets arrested, because he needs to be taught a lesson that he chose. Okay, first of all, they didn't even have my nephew naturally. They had in vitro fertilization, so it was a man-made pushed pregnancy for my sister, which she shouldn't have really done that in the first place. It almost cost her life. And, you know, secondly, he obviously is not capable of being a father, because even if he does like football or baseball or whatever fucking sports there are, it makes little to no difference. Simple as the fact that, you know, most men who are into sports make the time to still raise their sons to be respectable young people. And, you know, and that's just not what, was exhibited to me. You know, the fact that he stood on the sidewalk as his 7.5 fucking year old tall, semi-obese son was over there assaulting my son. I'm like, excuse me, what the fuck? You know, but somebody else brought a very interesting perspective to me, that spiritually they took that COVID trash, and so they believe that that could be half of the battle, that it's a spiritual attack on my son as well as a physical one, because he doesn't have that trash in his body, nor will he. I will not allow it. I don't give a fuck who tries to combat me. I will scare them the fuck away. And I'm good at what I do, period. So I don't even got a trip like that. But, you know, the fact of the matter is that, you know, they were in the wrong, and they need to understand that. And, you know, I refuse to, you know, speak with them at all. Why should I speak to somebody just because they're blood, just because they betrayed my son? I'm like, look, I don't fucking work like that. They know that I'm heavy-headed, hard-headed, whatever the hell you want to call it. And when I fucking say that I'm done with somebody, I am fucking done with them. It doesn't matter how many times they try to apologize. It doesn't matter how much their anxiety got the best of them. None of that bullshit. Because truly, if they were half the people they pretended to be, my sister and her husband would have stepped the fuck up, and they would have stopped that little kid. They would have whooped his ass right then and there and taught him a fucking lesson. That the way he was acting was not okay and it was not right. But, you know, based on everything that I've seen. So, like I said, I took him to the dentist today. And that is where I learned that my son has cracks in his teeth. His 2 front teeth, his incisors, are never going to be the same. So on top of having the injury there, he has a little cavity because as a baby, he was struggling to let the bottle go, which is normal. You know, every kid pretty much goes through that. My other daughter went through the same thing, and she got her teeth taken care of, and she looks fine now. But the bottom line is that he should have been a man enough to fucking discipline that little kid and to step his fucking game up, you know? Nobody should be having to tell any parent how to parent. And the fact that we do, it's really rather embarrassing. This is a 40-some-year-old man, and he's not capable of being a father. And he made the conscientious decision to do in vitro fertilization with my sister, because by the time they got around to trying to have kids, she was already an old-ass lady. And that in and of itself tells you that they were never meant to be parents. And now it shows. They were never supposed to be parents at all. You know, if God blesses you, beautiful. That's awesome. Fuck yeah, I'm all in support of that. But if you are forcing it and it's not supposed to happen, you gotta fucking leave it where it's at. Period. Okay? And I'm gonna tell you right now, after hearing that he has not only the injuries in his teeth, but on top of that, because of the issue that he was struggling with, which, by the way, I was doing really well for a period of time. I almost managed to eliminate those cavities because I learned a lot of natural holistic ways to take care of these. And he was almost all better until my dumbass, I don't know, or being naive or what the fuck ever you want to say, I'm like, oh, my dad and his wife are here to celebrate her birthday. Well, Lord and behold, I was misguided about that too. You know, they led me to believe that we're going to go to a fucking restaurant, and the reality is that we just stayed at her fucking half-ass house. And, you know, they were bitching and moaning that they wanted to go on a walk. I declined because I was fucking pissed. I'm like, I'm not going to go on no fucking walk. And then, of course, they had to be narcissistic and pushy and whatever the fuck else you want to say. And it had it to be their way. And so then everybody fucking went. And before we left is when all this happened. You know, she allowed her son to basically horrify my son, who was 4 at the time of this injury, with that dog. And then my daughter will tell you as well. My daughters both were there when the incident transpired. They can testify in the court of law. The whole fucking shit show. But we could hear when his skull hit the sidewalk, which tells me that the teeth up here got messed up from that impact. And I'm not okay with that shit. I will never fucking be okay with it. And I do not care. I do not care if my sister wants to go behind closed doors and complain to my mom about her feelings being hurt. I don't give a fuck about your half-ass feelings, because you didn't give a damn shit about my son's feelings and the pain that he was going through. What did you turn around and go do? You instantly were laughing about it with your husband the day that it happened. I still remember like it's yesterday. You had the audacity of getting in my way when I was trying to stop bleeding in his mouth. And then you got the nerve of talking to my mom and talking badly about both my son and me. Who the fuck do you think you are? Okay, first of all, I'm not gonna consider your guys' fucking feelings anymore. Second of all, if I don't want to fucking talk to you or see you, I won't. It's that simple. The fact that you betrayed my son like that shows me who the fuck you really are. And you may be getting all these new jobs, but I guarantee you, when I take you two to court, you ain't gonna have shit. So you better fucking watch your back and watch it solidly, because I ain't fucking around. And just so that you know, because I know you nosy as fucking be all up in my shit, I already got x-ray pictures. I got all kinds of proof. So if you think this court case, you're gonna win it, yeah, you're not. And especially since he was a minor at the time of this incident. So next time, maybe pull your head up out your ass and do what the fuck is needed and right.